Alright, greetings everybody. It is News Day, and there's some global news and there's some JP news, and I'm not prepared to talk about the global news, even in the slightest. But before we do all of that, a little bit of an announcement. There are no planned streams this week. I have been streaming a lot lately, and I've spent a lot of time streaming, so you know what? Tentatively, except for maybe Friday, I am just not doing any streams. I'm taking a streamcation. I will, of course, still be doing YouTube videos for content, so no worries about that. And I want to do even a little something for Xenoblade 3, and that might be on stream, or that might just be off stream. But I mean, the easiest way to keep track of when I'm streaming, I post a YouTube video. I also do some other stuff. So unless I'm like really in the mood this week, I'm just taking the day off, the week off. I have not taken a actual full streaming week off in forever. And as we're about to see with the JP News, I think this is the perfect week to do it. So there are some details about some minor things. First of all, a new map, which is focusing on fire and fire units getting some bonuses, which is very nice for fire units. And of course, the reason that we're doing that is because Pisaro is coming to Wotv this week. It is Pisaro, though I'm just trying to be funny, rather than being the operative word. But Pisaro is coming this week, and he is coming solo. And one of the big things for me is that I am very much waiting for a Warrior Crystal of Darkness. I got incredibly lucky last week getting one of the Dragon Quest characters, and I have no intention of pushing my luck further. Besides, it's just too much to build these characters right now. I'm saving my resources for the new Warrior of the Crystal, so I'm very much feeling that I'm making the right decision here, and I'm quite happy with that decision. But I will still be doing coverage on this character. So, Pisaro is a Fire Elemental 90 cost character. Main job will be a brand new Swordsman ability with a Samurai, and last but not least, Trick Lancer. And Trick Lancer and Samurai I feel pretty good about, and his main job as well being a brand new job. I think that this is going to be a character where they probably go a little further on the opposite side of caution, and that's just because fire is kind of meh right now. You know, fire physical is good in the ice matchup, but very few other places on JP. And I think that this could be the unit that kind of changes that, because there's plenty of breathing room. There's lots of other strong elements here, so it's time. The fire got quite a bit of love. So Limit Burst just being a large damage single target attack. This attack is effectively a nuke, and it's going to be nuking a whole bunch. I mean, you just look at this character in terms of the way that they built. Oh, got a message. Send that, and I feel like that this unit is going to be living up to the physical dreams that I want him to be. I want this character to be an actual force to be reckoned with. Of course, the Limit Burst removes enhancements too, but I think that the large damage is really what you're interested in here. Unfortunately, we are still going to be missing a few details about exactly how good this will be. Now, his second ability is, if I scroll down just a bit, basically surviving a fatal hit of damage, which is pretty good. There is enough removal out there, and there are ways around this, so I think this will still be relatively fair. And last but not least is his kind of one here that has a little bit more accuracy when dealing with other units, so that's good. Any element kind of just needs some accuracy, because wind can still be a little shifty. Light can also be a little bit shifty, but on the JP side, there really isn't that much light to speak of. As for his master ability, again, scrolling a little bit further down, AP acquisition is up 30%. I like that a lot. Slash slash resistance penetration by 15, which is already looking good for him being a damage dealer. There's more than enough slash resistance out there, so let's get some through that. And fire ability attack up. So I think that this character is shaping up to be very good. What's interesting and a first for Wotv posts on JP side is this information about his counter ability, which I'm just going to check my quick translation because I forgot it. I just forgot it in the middle of the video. Chance to increase own defense penetration rate and slash attack resistance penetration rate for 3 turns when evading an attack, stackable up to 3 times. So this is very curious. It's a little bit like Raldor's main class's ability to stack kind of a punishing thing. And it does kind of point to this character, and we already knew this from the live stream, that he is going to be a little bit evadey. Fire evade, I'm not super sure about without seeing the rest of his kit. If this is just a kind of evasion reaction ability, that does point to this being stronger, which I think is very good. We'll have to wait and see. This is a unit that I think I'm very, very anxious about. I mean, he could... I feel like it's going to swing into him being either way too good or way not good enough. Like, really, there's no in-between here. It's going to be massively overcompensated for just the way that fire is, or it could just be absolutely kind of underwhelming. And until we see the full kit and what else they decided to give him in the producer live letter or whatnot, I don't think that we're going to get a really clear answer on whether this character is not. But, you know, for JP players, it's just wait for the update, try him out kind of thing. For global players, you have plenty of months to find out whether or not he will be good. So yeah, stay tuned for more details about that, but he is looking to be a successful fire damage dealer, if nothing else. As for party ability has just been updated to include our brand new job. Really not too terribly much, and just scanning through it very quickly. I'm curious. I think he's listed... sword. It's just sword. It's the same under samurai and Laswell, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, more on that at a later date. Speaking of S-words, this will be his own unique weapon. I mean, that is a thing that is effectively going for him. And we do know that, I do believe that it's supposed to be a ice raid, so that this character is going to have a big advantage in that, as well as any fire characters. I do like Pisaro on base level just because he seems like he'll be very strong. Even if the evasion doesn't work, there's still a good chance that this character will just be a very powerful damage dealer. And the other thing that's really to note is Dark Tetraselphid. Dark Tetraselphid's card does give fire a pretty big power-up, even if it is not the most easily accessible vision card. And will do an advantage for a character that is effectively classed as a demon going up against humans. So I do think that there's enough here, and there's enough ice teams floating around for fire to be successful. Other than that, our favorite little slimy boy is getting one of his first of a couple upgrades, and the upgrades will be starting to roll out. So we're looking at this new battle number 11. Looks like it will be able to get him up to job level 19. And interestingly, we're going to see 2 updates with this character. First one, it was damage to target small with defense down for 3 turns. Damage after defense, basically now it's going to be upgraded to damage after defense down. So basically the defense down happens first. It didn't happen before that way, but now it will. So super, thumbs up to that. Next one is his kind of attack and magic power down when HP is 90% or above. Fire and Thunder attribute attack is greatly increased when HP is 80% or below. After the enhancement will now be decrease attack and magic when HP is 80% or above, greatly increase Fire Thunder attribute attack when HP is 80% below, and raise defense penetration and mental penetration rate, which is pretty cool. Basically, it's just going to power up Slime to be more effective, and it's looking like the first round of updates, which is kind of cool as well, because, this is kind of a special character. Normally we only get 2 enhancements, but this could be only the first 2, because we still have to go up to higher jobs yet, and, job level 22, and then 25. And I don't think a limit burst is on the menu, so probably we'll see these 2 abilities get a further update when they go further. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to see that. Now, obviously, the missing mission from the JP site this week is Warrior of the Crystal of Dark. Another story was not even announced today, so that's a pretty big blow. Now, normally on the JP side, I do believe it's another story comes out first, and then we see the character after. This isn't really too detrimental. I still think that the character is slated for relatively quickly. We know it's before the 3rd anniversary. It's just a question of when, whether it's, the beginning of October, which is kind of weird, as I still think that cannibalizes a lot of people's interest in current stuff. Like, as interesting as the Fire character and whatever a mid character would be, if the October character is just going to be a warrior crystal of whatever element, basically people know that those characters are incredibly powerful most of the time. And for darkness, yeah, it's pretty much a shoo-in that darkness is going to become top build in the meta again. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a waiting game to see what exactly is going on, but Pisaro should be interesting enough for this week to keep us contented. And I guess we'll just wait until probably September 15th. If another crystal shows up the following week, or another story shows up the following week, then that's probably a good indication. Now, as for global, I'm not going to spend too long talking about global news because there isn't too terribly much that I find very interesting. I think it's great that it looks like a lot of characters are going to be coming to the game in for limited, such as Ibarra, Esther, Dwan, Frivia, Starlit Atlanta, and Zazin. And of course, one of those characters is getting a boost. But Ibarra, Esther, I hear a lot of good things about some of the newer global characters, so great news for anybody who wants to get them. As for the rise of the Immortal Vision Card, a UR Vision 70 cost Vision Card that is effectively focusing around Zazin, looks to be a nice little Vision Card to get. I mean, limited bestowed effect is agility up, for Zazin, specifically a slash attack resistant piercing rate, so it's a good card for him, but it could also be a good vision card for other units to specifically equip on. As for the party ability for missile attack resistance up and luck up with slash attack up, I don't think that's going to make any difference against its worst matchup, which is wind. But in terms of going up against other matchups, I mean, lightning, you probably already have enough bonus for you that you don't have to worry too much about it. But it might be a really good idea for going up against ice in the future. Eliza's already pretty strong. She gets a boost into the JP's future, and ice is not slowing down the damage types. But this brings up 2 things that I wanted to talk about specifically with ice, and kind of have previously talked about it. Ice is powerful, ice is very strong, but as you can see, we're already starting to see some reaction from the devs to try and push ice back maybe a little bit further away from shooting with some more shooting missile resistance. Well, honestly, it depends on the values to really say how much of an effect this will have. With Elia and Eliza, it still feels very, very strong, and I for JP specifically, I don't think that this vision card would be really too interesting, as Zazin is only for the whaliest of whales, the UR Zazin, of course. But it is worth talking about the fact that I think that this vision card is a pretty nice thing for countering ice in terms of missile attack resistance, and it gives you it gives Earth potentially another good or at least decent matchup. So things to be considered about where you want to spend your resources. I don't think that the vision card is quite bad. It's not necessarily what I want to see for Earth. I mean, it's specifically here just another defensive card, and it feels like Earth needs more offensive. So it's kind of overly too, or it's a little difficult to get too excited. But it is a limited vision card, so I don't know, maybe by the time the Warrior of the Crystal of Earth is shown off, this vision card will show up again on Global. But yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. Let me know if you think that this vision card is good, because honestly, I'm just looking at it being like, I can see the value, I just don't know if I'd want to spend the resources with everything that's coming up. So yeah, Zazen people, go nuts. Everyone else, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you a little bit later, because I'm taking a week off. For Twitch, not for